It seems like Senator Graham has garnered more attention now after his death than any time before his death. It seems like everybody is talking about him. He's on everybody's lips. And not so much about what he did, is about what happened. All right. Let's go through the facts. Fact one, Trump returned from Turkey on the 9th. Graham went to Ukraine on the 10th and returned on the 11th. That's 3 facts right there. Another fact is they said that it would take him 24 hours to return from there, but if you check, they do have you can do a direct flight, and it takes 10 to 12 hours. So that's another fact that they're kind of misleading on us, telling us that he had to take a train, etc., etc. With the right escorts, he could have flew out of Kyiv anytime, and with the masking and everything like that. So that's one fact right there we want to set straight. It is possible, most likely possible, he flew directly from Kyiv back to D.C. through a roundabout manner, but yes, not going through trains and train stations, etc. Kind of ridiculous. Okay. So we got that straight right now. He did return. He did go to D.C. Another fact, that was him at the hospital. Okay, I know a source in D.C. that followed the ambulance, and they confirmed that was him in the ambulance. So that's out of the question about that, whether or not that was him. Okay. Another fact, Trump contacted him, or he contacted Trump the night of his return. All right, that's another fact. So far we got what, 4 or 5 facts? I lost count. Another fact, he contacted his aide, his personal aide, just before his passing, and something, my heart hurts or something like that. I forget to comment, get over here. And of course, that person left immediately towards his home. Here's another fact is also, they're not telling us about it, that he was also on the phone with Netanyahu just before his passing. And the conversation was not very pleasant. In fact, it was somewhat heated because Graham was going to suggest not funding Israel anymore. Also, some questions was raised between the two about the integration of the U.S. and Israeli forces. And that was before his passing. Now, a lot of the sources that come out and said that there was an assassination attempt on Trump, an assassination attempt or suggestion on Graham, came from that country that starts with an I and ends with the letter L, Israel. There's no confirmed sources, of course, inside of Iran about this or any other place, and especially not around Hezbollah or Hamas or anybody else. So the only source that this could have came from, verifiable source, if you want to call it that, was Israel. So I want you to put those facts together right there, guys. I'm not saying coming out now. I did the other day come out and said Israel did it, but I'm not coming out saying Israel did it. But if you put the numbers together the way it looks like now, it kind of points back to Israel. If Putin wanted him out, he would have took him out then. Putin is a little more savvy about that kind of stuff. So that's out. Ukraine wouldn't have done it because that would be cutting themselves off from the funding. The only person that had a reason to do it, the only 2 people that had any kind of reason to do this was Donald Trump and Netanyahu, Benjamin Netanyahu. And since he was a strong supporter of Trump, X that mark out. And the next verifiable choice in this conclusion is Benjamin Netanyahu. Y'all do the ad, y'all add it up and everything like that. Now, again, he was suggesting that they would do not pull away from the integration, intelligence sharing, integration of U.S. military and Israeli forces. He's also talking about ending funding or cutting back funding support for Israel during the current operations in the Middle East. These 2 facts alone would have Netanyahu stewing and hot. And of course, the next phone call is, get over here, my heart, or something like that. One other thing, people talking about the FBI showed up the next day to clear out his office. That's more or less a standard operation procedure. He was operating in sensitive documents and sensitive information. So, of course, they would want to come there and seize and control that information. But one other point I want to make about this is that he called his aide to call the hospital. He did not call the hospital himself. This, of course, from the aide. The person he called said that he called him to tell him to call 911. I don't think that was the conversation. I think it was get over here and get X or XYZ before they come. Think about it, guys. Think about it. All right, just start putting these numbers together and think like you would if you was a psychopathical liar killer. Y'all have a groovy day. Later, taters.
Attention passengers, we've now reached our destination. We hope you enjoyed the flight and have a nice day.